game's over. It's not worth getting yourself knocked out of it.
Today we celebrate the career of one of the most athletic forwards to ever play the game. Lance Franklin has been a commentator's dream with his unique combination of skill and speed, producing one of the most spectacular highlight reels imaginable. Today we pay tribute to the man universally known and loved as Buddy. Through the eyes of both his teammates and opponents, we follow his amazing footy journey, beginning with the Hawthorn days.
So I met Bud at the AFL Academy, is known of now, so it was the All-Australian under 16s back then. We hit it off straight away, a kid from country Perth and a kid from country Victoria. We were pretty good mates, and you know, it was a bloke that you like to be around, very infectious and full of beans, and still to this day not much has changed.
I was young and immature when I probably first started playing AFL. I was only 17, straight out of school, so it was definitely a whirlwind experience when I first got drafted. I think within the first week I was in Kokoda, moved to Melbourne, and everything happened very fast for me.
17-year-old kid. He was, you could tell that he was a little bit shy, didn't want to talk too much, but then when he got on the footy field, he was a different person. He backed his own ability, and you could just see he had talent.
Just some of the things that he could actually do out on the training track, and for a big bloke, that you know, definitely shocked me, and something I was, you know, just watching him out at training, doing things, and then seeing him do it in games was just unreal.
Yeah, I do remember Bud early on, his first few days. We were actually still at Glenfrey Oval, old place that was a bit run down, and we were about to move out of there. So it was I remember we walked out on the track, and where the race comes out is about sort of 50 out on the boundary, and he just walked out, grabbed a footy and bombed. I didn't know he was a left footer. He just walks out, bombs the left foot, and it goes 65 metres, no warm-up, no anything, and I just thought, this kid's 6'6", he's just kicked that 50 metres without even thinking about it. This is going to be a pretty impressive player if he's got some of the other tricks. And then we started running, and he did a running session. He didn't know how fast he could run, and he just ran with whoever was at the front, no matter how fast they were running. So, you know, he's a pretty impressive athlete early on.
He was never like an issue around the club. He was always the best. He was a competitive person. He was a young bloke who enjoyed a good time.
He was hard work at the start, to be perfectly honest. We went to Kokoda, and you got your ration pack that you had for 24 hours, and then you got another one the next day. He ate his whole ration pack every day as soon as he got it. So then he managed to just get his mates to give him little bits and pieces the rest of the day, and his attitude, well, they're not going to let me starve, are they?
He's pretty cheeky, always great value to be around, always up and about, cracking a few gags amongst the boys, and yeah, just a really great teammate.
I'd watched the 07 finals when they'd played Adelaide and at the Etihad, and you know, he pretty much won them the game. So probably then was when I knew that, you know, Star was born, and you know, coming into the 08 season and playing alongside him, just probably knew then on that, yeah, this guy's going to be one of the all-time greats.
We saw the best of him, you know, late 2006, early 2007. He was just, you know, just starting to hit the peak of his powers, and then come 2008, when you have nearly 200 shots on goal, pretty impressive year.
Yeah, definitely. That was probably my best season.
Just the way that the season went, you know, we only lost, I think, 5 or 6 games a year, but Bud was getting shots on goal every week, and I think it was early in the year he kicked 8 up in Brisbane, and Crawf maybe mentioned, I think he can kick 100 this year, and I think from then on each week, you know, the hype would build, and you know, finally to that game against Carlton at the Telstra Dome, where he needed, I think, 3 in the last game, and Junior hits him up at the end of the first quarter.
I gave him a few, I reckon, that year. But just that, the game against Carlton when he did reach his 100th, I remember I was the one that gave him the footy, so that's something I hold close.
you know, 35,000 people run on the field. It was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah, it was just unreal when he was playing that whole year, and you know, the bags that he was kicking throughout that year was just unreal.
Yeah, I remember the final series quite well. I can remember his bag of 7 or 8 where he kicked on Lakey, I think in the first final against the Doggies. And yeah, it was just phenomenal the whole year.
2008, it was definitely more one-on-one and probably a little bit more free-flowing. I think probably the last couple of years it sort of got back towards that.
I used to say I was pretty lucky. I got front row seats to the show every week. You know, games where he'd kick 9, there was games where he kicked 2-11. So any time you went out there, you knew that when the ball was going near Bud, something was going to happen.
Next on the special footy flashback, we relive Buddy's big day out in Tassie.